Welcome back, YouTube, to another episode of Invest in Myself. Today, we will be going over how to maximize your retirement accounts. Here's another option for people that are more conservative with investing. Not everybody wants to invest in real estate, start their own business. There are some people that actually love their 9 to 5 and they want to work for it for 30 years and have a good nest egg for their retirement accounts. And we will go over how to become successful and build that wealth that way this episode. All right, so we have Early Retirement Earl in the building, and he wants to know how to maximize his retirement account. So, he gives me a call up and he gives me his information here, and we're going to be breaking it down. So let's get down to business here. So Earl, he brings in $5,500 per month of income. His expenses are $3,000 plus his 401k contribution is $500. So his total amount of expenses is $3,500. This leaves him with a cash flow of $2,000, and the employer matches 5% of his income coming in. So that's going to be $257 that they're going to match for his 401k account. Now, Earl, he has a line of credit for $15,000, and that's what we're going to be working with using our Velocity Banking method. So Early Retirement Earl, he's real conservative and he invests into the stock market. So he has 3 different accounts that accrue in the stock market. So he has the individual retirement account, or the IRA account. That account for 2020, you can max it out at $6,000. Earl also has a 401k through his employer, and his employer is giving him a 5% match. And then he has his brokerage account. A lot of you guys are familiar with like Robinhood or Webull. Those are brokerage accounts where you can invest in the stocks and bonds into the stock market. So we are on month 1 in January, and what Early Retirement Earl is going to do, he's going to use the bank's money. So his line of credit of $15,000, he's going to use $6,000 of those dollars and put it all into the IRA account. What this does, it maxes out the IRA account come January 1st. So he's going to accrue more interest in his IRA account, get more dividends to reinvest. So since he maxed out January 1st, he is going to make more than somebody that, let's say, put $500 in January, $500 in February, $500 in April, and then they max it out maybe at the end of the year. Second, when Earl gets his income of $5,500, he's going to be using $500 of it to contribute to his 401k. What the employer does, they are going to match 5% of that $5,500 of income that he gets monthly, which is going to leave him at a total of $775. Now, Earl is going to have a cash flow of $2,000 once everything is said and done with his income and expenses. He's going to use that $2,000 cash flow to put into his brokerage account. Now, the average for the stock market is about 6% return. So we are going to assume that he's going to get a 6% return on all of these retirement accounts that are into the stock market. Now, since Earl used $6,000 of his line of credit, and one of the reasons why he used $6,000 of his line of credit is to definitely max out the IRA account, but he has $9,000 of emergency funds just in case something happens. Because remember, we do not have savings account. We use the line of credit as our savings account. Now, if you haven't seen Only Dummies Save Money, take time to click the link below, and I'll have a time mark stamp of where you can learn why we don't have emergency funds and saving accounts. So back to the line of credit. We have $6,000 of debt on the line of credit. So what are we going to do next month? We are going to use the velocity banking concept. If you remember, we're going to take all of his income, the $5,500, put it into the line of credit. What this does, it is going to almost pay off the line of credit, so the interest that accrues is very minimal. Once we put the income into the line of credit, we're going to use the line of credit to pay down our debts. Now remember, his cash flow every month, that is the positive that he gets every month. The leftover cash is $2,000. So for the month of February, he's going to have $4,000 on the line of credit for debt. His brokerage account, remember, he put $2,000 in there in January. It's still going to stay at $2,000, but that 6% accrual is coming because it's in the stock market, so it's just making us money. His 401k, part of his expenses are the $500, and the employer matches it. So we're going to add another $775. That will equal $1,550. And remember, since it's in that 401k and it's in the stock market, it's accruing that 6% interest. Now the IRA, we maxed that out already day one, so we can't put anything in there. So in February, it's still just accruing that 6% interest going forward. Now when we get to the month of March, we're using that velocity banking where we're putting all our income into the line of credit, and then our expenses get taken out of the line of credit. That's going to leave us with a cash flow of $2,000. So the line of credit is going to be paid down to $2,000 now. That's the debt on the line of credit. Our brokerage account, it still has $2,000 in it, but it's accruing that 6% interest. So it's actually more than $2,000. It just keeps on accruing. The 401k, since he contributes $500 and the employer matches it with $257, the 401k is up to $23.25 with the 6% interest still accruing. So these accounts are still all accruing interest, like he's just making money on top of money. Now remember, in March, the IRA is maxed out, so that 6% interest is still accruing on that $6,000. Now we're going to come to the month of April. It's the same thing, the velocity method. We put our income into the line of credit to simplify the interest because we're paying simple interest. And then we're going to take our expenses out of the line of credit. When we do that, the cash flow is $2,000, so we are going to be left with the line of credit paid off. Brokerage account still growing that 6% on that $2,000. 401k is up to $3,100 with 6% interest still accruing because it's in the stock market. Then the IRA, that 6% is still accruing. We maxed that out day one, January 1st. So we are making money on top of money on that. All right, now we get to May. And May is the interesting month where Earl actually gets to put more into his investments here. So since the line of credit is paid off, we are going to chunk another $6,000. We're actually going to put it onto the brokerage account. Since the IRA is maxed out at $6,000 and it won't let us put any more into that IRA account, we're going to put it into the brokerage account. So that makes the brokerage account up to $8,000. And interest is accruing. 6% interest is just, it keeps accruing. His 401k, he's still contributing $500 in there. And the employer is matching it with $257. So we're up to $3,875. And the interest is still accruing. The IRA, man, we already didn't max that out. So he has three retirement accounts that are just maxing out with the return in the stock market. Now we're going to go to June. We're paying down that line of credit. So we're putting that income into the line of credit, And then we're going to pay our expenses out of the line of credit. Since our cash flow is $2,000, it's going to leave the debt $2,000 lower, down to $4,000. Going to do that same thing for July. Income into the line of credit. The line of credit is going to pay our expenses. Since our cash flow is $2,000, it's down to $2,000 in debt on the line of credit. Now in August, we're going to be down to zero because the cash flow is $2,000. We're going to be down to zero. We paid that line of credit back up. All right, so we're on the month of September. In September, remember, if you look at this, every 4 months, we are making a chunk payment from our line of credit, from the bank. The bank's money, we're putting it into one of these retirement accounts, and it's making us more money. Since we're chunking principal payments of like $6,000, the interest that is accruing, that's compounding, is going to be way higher again than if somebody just said, let me just put my cash flow of $2,000 in January, in February, in March. It's not going to accrue as fast as if somebody put a whole chunk of $6,000 in and the interest is accruing on that $6,000. So back to September, since our line of credit is down to zero, we're chunking another $6,000 and we're putting it into that brokerage account. So now that brokerage account has $14,000 in it, and then it has that 6% interest just accruing in there. If he has dividends, he can reinvest the dividends within the dividends to make more money. Now remember, this 401k, he's always putting $500 because that's part of his expenses, and then the employer is matching 5% of the income of $5,500. So we're up to $6,975 into the 401k, but remember that 6% interest is accruing, so this is way more than $6,975. The brokerage account is way more than $14,000 because it's going to keep growing. Now our IRA, it's already full. We maxed it out January 1st, so that thing is way more than $6,000. It's just going to keep accruing. So now we go to October, we're using the velocity banking method. We're taking the $5,500 in income, putting it into the debt of the line of credit of the $6,000, and then paying our expenses of $3,500. Our cash flow is $2,000, so it's going to make the line of credit debt $2,000 lower to $4,000. So we go to November, the line of credit, it's going to go from $4,000 to $2,000 once we use our velocity banking method. And then come December, we have paid our line of credit down for the year. And what it looks like here, our brokerage account has $14,000 in principal of what we put in. This is not counting the interest that has accrued since January. The 401k account, the principal that we put in there was $9,300. This does not take account into the interest that has accrued the whole time since January. Now the IRA, it has $6,000 since January. Remember, it has the 6% interest that's accruing. So Early Retirement Earl has 3 retirement accounts that have maxed out. And the way it has maxed out is because we chunked the bank's money and put it into these accounts so they can accrue interest, and then we pay the bank back with our cash flow. So remember, when this interest compounds, since we're investing in the stock market, if you have a principal payment of, let's say, $6,000 starting January, that compound is going to compound on the $6,000. So you're going to make more money again than somebody, let's say, that's putting $500 every single month and letting it accrue to the $6,000. So that's how Earl is able to maximize his IRA day one, January 1st. His brokerage account, he's maxing that out too by putting all his cash flow into the brokerage account so it can accrue interest. And since we are paying in simple interest off of the line of credit, we are paying the bank back pennies compared to what we are getting in return for our investment, investing into the stock market. And he has 3 accounts of this. So, I mean, he's killing it. His 401k, he's getting the employer match of the full 5%. So he's maxing that out, and it's accruing interest. Now, you see that we strategically paid the line of credit off in December. So come January 2021, let's say the IRA account, let's say you can put $7,000 in it next year. Come January 1st, he's going to put $7,000. He's going to take $7,000 out of his line of credit to put it into the IRA account to max it out day one. So his IRA is going to beat everybody's IRA that just keeps on contributing very little till they reach $6,000. So this is how you maximize your retirement account using the Velocity Banking method. We are using the bank's money and we're putting it into an investment, into the stock market, into our IRA, into our 401k, into our brokerage account to get a big return in the stock market. Pretty much like Warren Buffett. All his money goes into the stock market because it makes a pretty high return. And then we are paying the bank back in simple interest. We are paying them back pennies on what we are making. And this isn't even our money. We're using the bank's money and then we're paying them back. Again, if you have not seen the video, how to calculate simple interest using your line of credit, go ahead and click on the link below and get caught up to speed about how little of interest the line of credit is being charged to you when you use the bank's money. So I hope you guys have learned about how to maximize your retirement accounts and this information seeks in so you guys can apply this to everyday life. If this has, remember to subscribe, like, hit the notification button, and share this with others. And just remember, do not take life for granted. I will catch you guys next episode. Peace out.